unbelievably entitled bellend, for want of a better word, who's driven into a car park with his car on fire and gone, yeah, I'm very important, I've got to get my flight, but if somebody could put the fire out on my Range Rover, that would be fantastic. And then he's flown off, and then he's got to wherever he was going, opened his phone, looked at the news and gone, bollocks, I need a lawyer. Good afternoon. I think this might be an important one, actually. Grandmother whose £20,000 car was damaged in Luton Airport car park fire is at fault, says insurance company, which offers her a £7,000 payout as Britons battle to get money and keep no claims bonuses following the blaze. You've got a whole car park. Why are you parking next to me? Anyway, a grandmother whose 20 grand car was damaged has been told that she is at fault, and they've offered her a £7 grand payout, £7,000 on a £20,000 car. So she's been left without a car to pick up her grandchildren or get to work after the blaze. Her insurance company only offered £7,000 in compensation. Not enough to get a comparable vehicle. Well, no, if the vehicle was £20,000, why have they only offered her £7,000? The grandmother, who was on holiday in Portugal at the time, hence the car was in the airport car park, still doesn't know whether the car's salvageable. She contacted her insurance company, who wouldn't supply her with a courtesy car as they considered her car written off. Yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? If your car's a write-off, you don't get a courtesy car. If your car's being repaired, then you do. With a final settlement offer of £7 grand, Kath wouldn't be able to purchase a like-for-like vehicle. To be honest, in the real world of buying cars, not the Geoff world where I take risks on cheap cars and buy high mileage stuff, in the real world where normal people buy cars, £7 grand hardly gets you anything these days. £7,000. She said the experience was very traumatic and upsetting. Obviously she can't help with her grandchildren. I know if that was my mum, then it would massively impact childcare for us and my brothers and sisters if my mum was without a car. So this is a big deal. Kath said, we bought our new car, have it serviced regularly and weren't planning to change it for the foreseeable future. It's been a very reliable car and has low mileage, and now we don't have access to a vehicle. She isn't the only holiday maker battling to get money back following the devastating fire in the £20 million car park. Right, now this gets better. There's another one here from a Sarah who said her car that was in the car park was the only one she felt connected to. We'd been on holidays more than any other car we've owned. We went to France just a couple of months ago, the first ever trip in my own car abroad. It's the only car I've remembered the registration number to. See, a car is not just a fridge. You don't buy a car like you buy a fridge. You connect with the vehicle because it allows you to go places and see things. You have an emotional connection with the vehicle. The fact we had a car that my dad loves so much and liked to come out in, especially being the last car he went in, means it holds precious memories. My mum shunned a funeral car for my dad's funeral as she wanted to go in the car that he loved. Along with 2 dash cams and a mini fridge. There was a mini fridge in there. Sarah and her husband Darren also lost items with great sentimental value in the blaze. There were little mementos too from our holidays. We'd assumed that they'd be safe, Sarah said. Another devastated holidaymaker is Samantha. She's also been left without a car, and her little baby was in one of the car park's disabled spots. Not her actual little baby, that's what she calls her car. Again, emotional connection to your car. We do build these emotional, I mean, not if you're an EV driver, you won't understand this, but if you love and adore your car, then we build connections to it. And there's certain things about this car that would not be financially replaceable, like my headlining, made out of surfing magazines that are irreplaceable because they're from about 2012. Anyway, she said this is a Nissan Duke in bright yellow. I'm okay with the Duke if it's bright yellow. She said she bought her car for £9,500. Her insurance offered her £8,500 minus the £300 excess. Wonder if that's on market value then, but surely the prices have gone up, so the market value that the insurers are paying out should be above what was paid for the car. Like I said, £7 grand doesn't get you much these days. Anyway, this is where we get into the meat of the video. This comes as Bedfordshire police said they detained a man in his 30s as a precautionary measure in connection with the massive fire that caused the car park to collapse. However, investigations so far suggest the blaze started accidentally due to a vehicle fault. A police force spokesman said Police arrested a man in his 30s on suspicion of criminal damage in connection to their investigation into a significant fire at the airport. We're carrying out a thorough and diligent investigation into all potential lines of inquiry and should be expected after such a major event. The man has been released on bail while our inquiries continue. A couple of questions coming right up. Basically then it summarises, it says 100 firefighters were deployed, the flames spread across multiple floors as we know, 1,500 vehicles. The airport said it had provided the Motor Insurers Bureau with the registration details of 1,405 vehicles. And as I said in a previous video, they've responded to 16,000 customer queries since then. Regarding the current condition of the car park, a Luton airport spokesman said, having worked with our engineers, experts and insurers, we're getting closer every day to making a final decision. They're going to pull it down. They're obviously going to pull it down. Working with our structural engineers, we now plan to remove around 100 cars from the top deck of the car park for the purposes of stabilising the structure. No one's going to want to park in that afterwards, are they? So they're going to have to pull it down. Right, now, let's get into some of the more interesting stuff now that we've read the article. So, if you've got a car that's in there, please comment and tell me your story. I know some people have, and I have had contact from some people, but I want to read you this comment. Now, I don't know. This is not me saying this. This is a comment that was posted, I think, anonymously on a YouTube video, one of my videos the other day. And I looked at this comment and I just thought, that's interesting. Before I read you this comment, it's important to note that the article that I just went through with you, the comments are switched off. You can't comment on that article. Now, why would the comments be switched off on there when all of these crappy newspaper websites know that the more comments they get, the more people are arguing in the comments, the better it is for views and engagement for their advertisers. And they're only there to get advertisers. This isn't real journalism. They're just there to get advertisers to pay for your eyes to see what's on there. YouTube's a little bit different because you don't come here. Why is YouTube different? YouTube's a little bit different because you build up a level of trust with someone, and if you're watching my videos, it's because you know that I hope that you know that I have honesty and integrity and my intentions are good, whereas that's just a newspaper. It's a different thing. So, how about this comment, right? I was on a flight from Seville to Luton the night after the fire. Instead of rushing through the airport, I had to wait for disability assistance. I got chatting to the airport worker who I met on my onward journey. He told me exactly what happened. A man drove his already smoking electric car into the car park. He announced to passport control his car was on fire and could someone sort it out for him. He was late for his flight and had a very important meeting. He said he was very wealthy and the car was disposable. We then mentioned the story to a separate worker who said the man will be publicly lynched when it's made public. I was waiting to see how the press would report this, as it was an electric vehicle. As I said, comment on my YouTube. I don't know, but if we look at the evidence, the comment said that one single person was responsible and that he was very wealthy. We now know that someone's been arrested. For me, from the early footage of the Range Rover burning from behind, I saw a 2-digit number plate. If you look at the lighting, I think there was a 2-digit number plate, which would tie up with the comment where it says he was very wealthy and the car was disposable. Because you don't have a 2-digit number plate on your car unless you've got so much money that you don't know what to do with it, because that's a ridiculous waste of cash. So that's a different side of things, isn't it? What if it is some unbelievably entitled bellend, for want of a better word, who's driven into a car park with his car on fire and gone, yeah, I'm very important, I've got to get my flight, but if somebody could put the fire out on my Range Rover, that would be fantastic. And then he's flown off, and then he's got to wherever he was going, opened his phone, looked at the news and gone, bollocks, I need a lawyer. I don't know. But it's pretty sucky that people are being ripped off by their insurance companies. Speaking of being ripped off, let's finish this with a funny note. My friend Chris, the car dealer, has just sent me 14 messages on WhatsApp. That can only mean one thing. He's got a car that he wants to sell me. Last time, it was a broken Mercedes-Benz CL500. What is it today? It's a Volkswagen EOS convertible. He's also sent me a long voice message, which will be 1.5 minutes of him telling me just how good the car is, followed by 10 seconds of explaining everything that's wrong with it, and which will completely put me off buying the car anyway. It does actually look quite nice. Yeah, do I want a Volkswagen EOS convertible? If it's a diesel, I might actually need that car, because I'm going on a very, very long road trip on Thursday, and right now, for reasons that I'll explain in another video, the vehicle that I'm meant to be taking isn't going to be making the trip. Yeah, you heard it here first. I will be doing the road trip in something, but I'm not sure yet. Will it be a Volkswagen EOS? Will it be a Range Rover with a 2-digit number plate? Or will I be walking, like I did along the motorway earlier on, carrying a can of diesel? Except, and I might as well tell this story now if you're still here. All right, here's what happened. No, let's not finish with that story. Let's finish the video now. Thank you very much for watching.